what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Thanks for joining me. In this video, one of the things I found is it's hard to keep coming up with different ideas and concepts, but I'm trying to go back to when I was a beginner and things that helped me. So for this one here, we're going to do one of my first videos that I did, or not videos, one of my first paintings that I did was using only burnt umber. Now I'm using Cotman, if you can see that there. This is Cotman burnt umber. I'm going to use a small tray here, and we're just going to put out a little bit on my little mini palette, and we're going to do a painting just using burnt umber. Now the good thing about this is if you just got your hake, this is a good way to for your first painting, your first practice. Heck, you could buy a hake, a pad of paper, and burnt umber to see if you even like this. So if you're just starting out, you just got your hake, even if you're not just starting out and you're you've done this for a while, it's not a bad idea to just use one single color. You can use Payne's Gray, you can use burnt umber. Those are two good colors to use to start out with. I like the burnt umber. It almost has a sepia sort of a look to it. Now this paper I'm using here, it's 90 pounds, so it kind of curls up a little bit, but that's okay. I wanted to use it for this. I thought this would be a good thing to use it for. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to this is going to be for our sky. And when you do these, you're only working with the tone of the paint. So you're using one color, so you don't want to... You want to stick within using tones more lighter toward the background and darker as you get closer. So we're almost going to do with this what we do with the raw sienna, which is just give it a nice coating overall, just for the background. Okay, and then we're going to dry that. But before we do, let's throw in a few clouds. We're going to take a little paper towel, and we're just going to just dab in a little bit. Not too hard, just lightly dab, and we'll put in just a little bit of cloud cover here. And that's it. Just give it enough to it. It looks a little cloudy there. And hopefully you can see this. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is give it a quick dry. And my favorite thing, of course, let's drop in some mountains. Now, all you got to do is make one peak. Just make like the letter A, and you have one peak, and make a couple of smaller peaks. And just bring that all the way down. And you will have, just take your hake brush and put it on an angle. And just go all the way down, and you've got a mountain stream here, a series of mountains. And we'll just put this a little bit underneath. And heck, if you've seen me doing this before and you want to play around, you can even take your card and make little peaks. That's not necessary here, but thought I'd do it just for fun. Just because it's something that I do. And you can go in and just kind of touch that up a little bit. And you've got a nice mountain streak there. You've got your clouds in the back. Mountain range, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to look at is if we want to have some water here in the front, what we're going to do is, this is still pretty wet. Let's go ahead and give it a quick dry. Okay, hopefully that's pretty dry. I'm going to stretch the paper a little bit because this is, again, 90 pound. And so it tends to cockle a little bit. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is, now that this paper is pretty dry, take advantage of the grain that's in the paper a little bit. And we're just going to take, with a little bit of water, And we're going to do a quick stroke across, just like that. Just like that. Just lightly drag it across. You can practice on any other paper if you want to, and you'll get that effect with the sparkles in the water. That's going to be water. And we'll just do it again all the way down the page. If there's too many, you can come in a little bit more. And there you have very simple. And this could be water. This could be in that it's, you know, this burnt umber color. This can easily be land too. But for our purposes here, it's going to be water. We'll leave some streaks there. We'll leave some of this there just to have some sparkle. Okay. Now, for the bottom area here, I'm going to put in some darker colors because we're really toward the front here now. So we're just going to put it in nice and heavy and put in some good land mass here. Tell you what, we'll bring it all the way down. Nice and dark. So we've got some land mass on the bottom, nice and simple. And I'm going to put a little bit more burnt umber on my paper, or on my palette. While that bottom section's drying, we're going to take almost the neat paint and we'll put in a tree. And we'll put in a couple trees. And we could even put one in over here. Why not? Why not? Just to practice our trees. And we'll put this, just bashing in the hake so it looks grassy. Just taking advantage of the ends of the hairs of the hake. And just for grins, I'm going to do a little scrape of the tree. Just because it's something that I like to do. And you can take this card and you can make little blades of grass coming out, scratch in if you want to. And you can see it's like a sepia tone type thing here. Let's go ahead and, I'm going to, now that I put in trees, I was going to just use the hake, but I'm going to go ahead and put in some branches and we'll just keep going with this. Just take and make a nice mix on here and just flick off some branches, not too many. Remember not to cover your mountain area back here. Like I said, this was one of the first ones I did, but I didn't do it this way. I think it was Frank Clark, one of his videos, and I used his hake brush. This is the Frank Clark Simply Painting brush, 1/2 inch. This is a goat hair too. This is a good brush too. I just got used to using the Ron Ranson hake after a while. It's a very high quality brush. All right, so we're just going to finish with this. Yeah, if you haven't seen Frank Clark's channel, good beginner resource. Like I said, he sells that brush too. And I think he did one like this back in the beginning. I'm not sure now. And doing it with the brown only really got me to feel confident that I could use the hake brush. But you can do any scene with either brown or Payne's gray. Just touching up a little bit in that bottom area there. Let's get some, we're going to stipple this in just by fraying up the hairs here and putting a little paint on the end. Just going to bash this in, turn the brush a little bit, and make some leaves on these trees. And let's go back to the rigger brush, and we'll just put a couple little birds in. That's a terrible bird, isn't it? Sort of why I draw them in. So that's it. After that, you can sign your painting. Let me zoom in on this one. Let me take the thing off here. And it's still drying, but you can see how the tones, you can do this with one color. Similar to some of the other paintings that I do, but you can see just all the details. Give it a try. If you've painted a lot yourself and you've not done like a single color before, give it a try. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And by the way, I just hit 200 subscribers, which in the big YouTube scheme of things isn't a lot, but it's a lot to me, and I appreciate everyone for watching and taking an interest. So anybody that's watching hasn't subscribed, please subscribe. Also, click on the link to my eBay shop, and I have some paintings I sell there, which helps me to recoup some of the supplies for this stuff, because if you're already into it, you know how expensive it is. You know, it's $5 for a small tube of paint. So selling one painting for like 20 bucks, you know, you could buy 4 tubes of paint. So that's kind of the mindset there. But again, I appreciate you watching, and please comment and subscribe. Have a great day.